Okay, so today we're going to change the door motor actuator. So I've got my guide here, as you can see, freshly printed off the internet. I've got the replacement part, just to show you what happens. So you come up here and you push this, nothing happens. If I simply touch the door handle, it jams. See it? Only opens very slightly. Now you can get around that. You can just sort of tug it, and then it'll close no problem. It'll open no problem. Now if you then go in to the master door switch here and you click it, it kind of moves down a bit there, but it doesn't seem to move down there. So you can close it again, just give it a good tug, and then the door will in fact close. So supposedly the root of that problem is to do with this little bugger. So I shall now go through the install guide. So the first thing I've done is I've taken the key out of the ignition, as you can see, and I'm going to turn the power. Oh, what's up? Yeah, there we go. I'm going to turn the power button off up here. So that's it off. So presumably this door is now isolated. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take off this panel here, and presumably the same one on the other side in here. So I'll do that, and then I'll come back. Well, for this section where it described putting a cotton work glove in to get this clip here out, I didn't really find that much use at all. All I did was I got a pair of tweezers, stuck the tweezers down between the door and the clip, and I pushed the clip down, and then that obviously moved that down like that, and then I pulled it off. So if you're kind of struggling with this glove idea, which I didn't find any help whatsoever, just get either a screwdriver or a pair of tweezers, slip it down where you see the little bit sticking out, push it until it goes all the way around, and then it'll come off. Okay, so that was the first glitch I had. Well, now that I've got the door panel off, which was pretty straightforward, I can see a difference between the Hyundai Entourage and the Kia Sedona. Now this is obviously the opposite side. I'm on the rear driver's side, not the rear passenger side, being a left-hand drive vehicle as well. So I don't see this thing anywhere on there, so I'm obviously going to have to remove this. Looks pretty straightforward. It's just 3 Phillips screws, and some sort of connector. So that's the next step for me. Well, I've actually found out what this is. It's actually part of the Infinity sound system. It's a JBL speaker, or some sort of tweeter or something. So that's what that is. So if you've not got the upgraded sound system, you won't see that on your door panel. One thing I forgot to say is this van was actually back in for the recall, and I reckon that's why it's such a bloody mess in here. I've taken door panels off, and I've taken this piece of plastic off before as well, and I've never seen anything like this mess before. So this has to be the dealer's handiwork when he did the recall for the switch. So it's a very warm day here as well, so I'm getting a greenhouse effect, so this is even stickier than it needs to be. But I should have had some gloves on, I think, now that I'm looking at this. So look at that. God almighty. So hopefully this little thing here is the bit I need to get to. Right, I shall cut this off before I end up sticking myself to the chairs and God knows what. Well, I've got the next part done, which was this part here, which is about removing the controller assembly. Mine didn't drop down at the door quite as far as that, and then when it came to this part, section 10, I thought, how the hell am I going to get this out? But all it is you've got to move this part out of the way in order to get this out. And once that comes out, this whole unit here comes out pretty easily. Mine again is the opposite side, so it's not going to look exactly the same. So next thing I've got to do is I've got to take this screw out, I believe this screw and this screw. So I'll stop for now. Well, that last statement I just said about the other part of the panel having to be taken off with the 3 screws, the 1, 2 and the 3, that actually is only for checking something else. You actually only need to take out the screws here, and as it says, you know, there's 3 long screws and whatever, so I've got 3 long screws and I've got 4 small screws. So that's this part here. So I'll just take the top off. Okay, so this is actually loose, so I'm going to have to use 2 hands here. So I've taken it apart. It says to be careful not to lose the seal, so you'll see these 2 bits that stick out. Now the thing I always recommend whenever you change a part is make sure the replacement part is the same as the original. Now I can see that there's a slight difference there. It doesn't say made in China on it anymore. Pretty much looks the same. Looks like I have to slide. That's weird. To slide the contacts in somehow. Slightly different to what I expected. I'd expected I was going to have like a terminal that would just slip on, but it seems to be that they actually push into this little recess down here. So I shall give that a go. Well, that's the door panel protector cover thing, whatever you call it, back on. As I say, it does look pretty horrendous. I've never seen one that bad ever, but it's a bit of a fiddle to get that bit back in there, but it's pretty straightforward. Just make sure you put the cable on the outside of the window runner, which is here. I actually made the mistake of putting it behind it, but it actually goes in front of it. So that's that's this cable here. It goes in front of this. If you put it behind it, you won't get the motor back in. Alright, let's see if it works. Well, as they say, the proof of the pudding is in the eating, so I've now put the power switch back on, and I'm now going to push the door. As you see, that opened fine. I'll go in here and I'll press this button. Oh hell, that didn't work. Right, I'm going to turn the power off. Close it manually. Right, it's not even closing manually. Right, well that was a bit of a fuck up. So what do I do now? Alright, it's not doing anything. Power. Strange. Well, I don't know if I've found the problem yet, but taking this back, it looked like this thing had actually come off. So that's it. That's it in there. See what happens now. Bit of a panic there, because if that didn't work, I couldn't even get the door closed. Nothing. Ah, at least I can shut the door now. Right, back to square one. Okay, so the door is opened. And the door's closing. Well, that just shows you that things, although it's actually been fixed, don't always go to plan. Right, so that's definitely working fine now. So if you get that problem that I had there just now, where the door doesn't close properly, just double check that little catch. So just as well I didn't put the door panel back on, because I'd never have seen that. So that's this bloody sticky goop. That little connector in there, make sure that's completely pushed in. I had it not quite clicked into place, so that was my fault, obviously. This stuff is so sticky, it's unbelievable. Anyway, at least that's resolved. So I'll now put it all back together, and I'll hope for the best. Okay.